Before I get started, I'd like to kindly ask that you hit the like button, and please subscribe to the channel for more content just like this.
Do or do not. There is no try.
So the Scream 5 trailer has finally arrived. Yes, I'm calling it Scream 5 because I refuse to call it Scream because Scream came out in 1996. I have to say, I enjoyed this trailer a lot, but I really do not like the name of the movie. This has kind of been a trend in Hollywood where they just take the name of the original movie and slap it on one of the sequels, and it just always comes off as very lazy to me. It makes it feel like a remake, which it really isn't, and it just makes it feel like you're trying to cash in on that original name. But who knows, there could possibly be a reason for it, and more on that in a minute.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions. I want to have them answered immediately.
All that being said, this was a solid trailer. The trailer starts with very familiar things. You have phones ringing, you have a teenage girl home alone, and you have a person on the other end, presumably Ghostface, who is toying with her. This scene is most likely the opening sequence of the movie, if I had to put money on it.
I'd buy that for $1.
I like how they're starting to incorporate more and more technology into this scenario. We saw that a little bit in Scream 4, and now they're continuing it here. One good example of that is when we see Ghostface messing with the automatic locks to the girl's house. I have to say, I'm really glad that they didn't redesign Ghostface in this movie. A lot of times they try to give these iconic characters updated looks, but Ghostface has always been perfect the way he is. And there's just no need to mess with a good thing, so I was glad that they did.
Excellent!
Next we see kind of a strung out looking Dewey, and he's on the phone with Sidney. And he goes on to tell her that it's happening again. It could just be because David Arquette himself is just older and graying now, but I got the feeling that everything that's happened in the past 4 movies is starting to take its toll on Dewey. Meanwhile, it seems like Sidney is just ready to go at the drop of a hat. She even says, "I'm Sidney Prescott. Of course I have a gun." That's a perfect Sidney response. This is why, to me, she is the best final girl. Look where she came from in Scream 1 and to where she is now. Her character has grown exponentially in really believable ways.
Don't fuck with the original.
I do have some concern as a Scream fan that some of our staple characters are going to be in much more danger this time around. To be clear, I'm not against the idea of some of these characters finally meeting their end, but I hope that it's done in a way that's meaningful and isn't done just for shock value. As Scream fans, we've become attached to these characters because they've stuck around through each and every movie. It's not like other horror franchises where they bring in a new cast of characters to get slaughtered every single movie.
If he dies, he dies.
I just hope that whatever happens, they treat these characters with respect. We do know that each Scream movie covered different ground as it pertains to the rules. The first one was just for slashers in general. The second was for sequels, the third was for trilogies, and the fourth was for remakes. So is it possible that Scream 5 will pay homage to the most current horror trend, that being the trend of reimagining these horror franchises? And naming the film just simply Scream would contribute to that idea, so perhaps the name is more clever than we thought, and that's just further satire on what's been going on in modern horror.
That makes sense.
Wes Craven and Kevin Williamson aren't around, but if that turns out to be true, that's pretty awesome. It's entirely possible that this movie, which is the 5th in a franchise of movies, who is based around a whodunit concept, could actually throw us a curveball this time around. What that curveball is isn't really certain yet, but it's something to think about.
You didn't see that coming.
All the horror moments in this trailer are absolutely great. There's one where Ghostface seemingly appears out of thin air right behind someone in order to kill him. Sidney seems to want to help the new girl who's being tormented by Ghostface, and all her past experiences would seem to qualify her to give good advice on the matter. We get another shot of Gale and Sidney getting ready to throw down, in which Sidney asks Gale if she's ready, and Gale says, "You're never ready for something like this."
Why did these things always happen to me?
Plus, we do get a lot of shots of some of the new teenage cast members. And then we come to the most important part of this trailer, at least in my opinion. Dewey is talking about the rules, presumably to the new characters. But one interesting tidbit is revealed here. Someone states that the new attacks are on people who were related to previous killers. So this is going to be a way for them to connect this film back to the original trilogy and possibly 4 as well. So we'll probably be getting a lot of references to previous killers and possibly seeing how their actions affected their families after they were gone.
I'm feeling woozy here!
which I think is a pretty interesting concept to tackle in this franchise, because the story's always been about how something in the past has impacted the present day. Plus, it just solidifies a link between the current day killer and the events of the previous movies. We get more action and horror shots after this. I noticed another shot where Gale is screaming as she's being held back by someone. I can only imagine what she's looking at in that moment, but it's probably not good.
Why do you cry?
And then we finally hear the new Ghostface confronting Sidney, basically saying that it's an honor to finally meet her, and that's how the trailer comes to an end. I love Sidney's legendary status at this point, and I hope they really play that up in this film. Overall, as I said, I really enjoyed this trailer. I didn't see anything that would be cause for concern just yet, and as of right now, it just seems like the next chapter in this ongoing saga, and I'm incredibly excited for that. So have you seen the new Scream 5 trailer? If you have, let me know what you thought about it in the comments down below. As always, please like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell for notifications, and I'll see you next time right here on Real Shit. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
Y'all be cool. Shut up.